Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Starflames and we're back baby with another banging video. Guys, if God has wakened you up today on this evil planet amongst so many evil walking deads, you need to just say thanks to God for doing that. It may seem like, oh, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal for you to wake up in the land of the evil and the dead. It's a big freaking deal. So always remember to give praises and thanks. Now guys, in this video, we're going to talk about Marcy Brian Croft. You know that she is part of Rock Nation. She is their attorney and all of that jazz. And now she's suing Tony Busby. You guys know that I've been telling you from the very moment that Tony Busby got on the scene that Tony Busby is a questionable character. And many of you were upset and many of you were telling me that he had won cases for a lot of people and all of that jazz. And I said, yeah, irrespective of that, the man is a snake. And as time passed, many people realized that Tony Busby was exactly as I told you all he was. I can see through people. I can smell them. And as such, it's why I knew that Tony Busby wasn't the decent human being that he was portraying himself to be. And it is what it is, right? So 2 days ago, I came across some details about Marcy Brian Croft filing a $25 million defamation lawsuit against Tony Busby. She's alleging that Tony Busby has led a smear campaign against her image, likeness, and reputation. So for the past 2 days, I have been doing some research on Miss Marcy Brian Croft because I wanted to see if Marcy had any skeletons in her closet that might be publicly known. Even if it's a small smidget, it is a lead. Man, I tell you, I don't know what Marcy has been doing, but I cannot find anything on this woman. She has never been sanctioned. She has never had any disciplinary actions against her. Absolutely not one friggin' red ink against this woman. Everything is just impeccable when it comes to her professional career. She has been recognized with numerous professional honors and she has just been praised and lauded for all of the work that she has been doing as a litigator for the past 25 years. I kid you absolutely not. She has been litigating in areas such as mass torts, which are extortion cases, product liability, personal injury, criminal justice, and unfair trade practices. She has served as local and regional and national counsel for Fortune 500 companies in environmental and occupational exposure cases. When I tell you this woman, she is more decorated than any army vet that I've seen in all my life. And I'm not exaggerating. It may sound as though I'm exaggerating, but I kid you absolutely not. I'm not exaggerating when it comes to Marcy Croft. Like this woman, she's well decorated. Well freaking decorated. The woman has accolades upon accolades. You think of all the best companies, all the horrible cases that have been won. You're calling Marcy Croft's name. I mean, litigators by benchmark litigation, like she holds such prestigious ratings and honors and professional excellence, like she comes in a class of her own, she comes in a category of her own, and she comes in a lane by herself. Do you know when they say stay in your own lane? Marcy has been in her own lane, and it's not one that anyone can take away from her. I thought that Alex Spiro was the man, honey. Marcy is like 100 times a bit above Alex. And I'm like, I didn't know it was possible for someone to outright Alex Spiro when it comes to their professional career. But Marcy is that girl. Hands down, she is that freaking girl. So when I saw this lawsuit, I was like, damn, Buzbee is in trouble, honey. Marcy doesn't lose a case, honey. That's the thing. No one comes from Marcy's reputation because this woman walks the straight and narrow path, so much so that people encourage people not to come after Marcy unless you have your facts put together and they make sense. And for Tony Busby, for Marcy to be suing Tony Busby, alleging that he has spread lies targeting her work relating to jayz's reform efforts, she's not lying. She's not lying. This lawsuit is literally a open and shut case at this point. Tony Busby is going to have to pay her. And as you guys know, when I call the cases, I'm never wrong. Not even once. Not even once I have been wrong about any of these cases. Not once. Not once. When I told everyone that Buzbee was going to drop a case against jayz because jayz is innocent, and I said jayz is not out here as a guy of this age, raping minors. If if someone said that jayz did that at the age of 15 to maybe 23, I would say maybe. But jayz in his 30s and his 40s, he became a true man in his 30s and his 40s when it came to women. You can say jayz has been smuggling marijuana across borders, and I'll say, yes, I believe that. You can say jayz has been, smuggling drugs, and even if it's not true, I'll say, yes, I believe that. But when it comes to being at a Diddy party assaulting minors, that's not jayz's behavior. That's not jayz's style. If you say jayz has paid to pew and take out some people who were threats to him, I would say yes, jayz did that. Even if he never did it, I'll say yes, jayz did that. So I have an understanding of who the guy is. I've been tracking the guy for the past couple of years. And when Kanye speaks about jayz, I listen. And when there's some old clips on YouTube that you guys can watch about jayz, and it really gives you a very sound, idea of who jayz is. So I knew from the get-go that, and when you read the details of the lawsuit as well, it just didn't make sense. It never made any freaking sense whatsoever. And then the witnesses that the VMA bandit named, they were in separate countries, different locations. And there's one thing you cannot do. When there's physical evidence of an individual being at a particular location, no matter how good you are, you could be Houdini himself, you cannot take that individual from XYZ location and put them in the United States when they were never there. I don't have to like someone to speak the truth about them, because for me, speaking the truth has to do with me, not the individual. It's not anything personal. Like, I seriously don't hold grudges against anyone. I don't care about how jayz came about his money. That's between him and God. Whatever he did for his money, he's going to have to give an account for his sins. But it's not my business to be his judge, jury, and executioner. Like, I can be his judge, of course, but I won't be his executioner. But back to Miss Marcy Croft. Like, I want to bow to this woman in respect of her craft, not because I see her as a god, but when you talk about a badass bitch, you're talking about Marcy. Marcy is bad. And the good, bad that we want to see and hear about women. Like, Marcy is a woman that people fears, not because she's fearful, but because she's always on her A game. Now, so basically, Marcy As I've said, and as you guys know, she has worked closely with Jay-Z on numerous projects. You know, even the projects that Rock Nation takes up in terms of criminal justice reform, how they fund money to schools and all of that. Marcy is the attorney who ensures that whatever donation Rock Nation is involved in, it is something that is legal and it doesn't goes contrary against the law, because you know that you can, like, as a company or an organization, you know, you just cannot take up yourself and say, oh, Jamaica has been hit with Hurricane Melissa, I'm going to send Jamaica $25 million. You guys know that there are laws and stipulations around that. And there are also limits as to how much some companies can give in donation. Like, you see, donation or funding, it's not as easy as people think it is. Like, Hurricane Melissa has been a very huge freaking learning curve for me. And I've done all the crash courses you can think of when it comes to charity organization, donations, and all of that. So Marcy Croft has been working with Rock Nation, and she is closely, as I've said, associated with Rock Nation's criminal justice reform work, and has publicly collaborated with Team Rock and the philanthropic arm of Jay-Z's company, including efforts related to prison reform in Mississippi. So do you know how, like, for example, as it relates to philanthropy, it was a few months ago that Jay-Z was in the media because it was said that he had promised to donate money to a school, and many people did not get their donations as promised, and everyone was coming for Jay-Z thinking that Jay-Z was the problem. Jay-Z was the one who was not delivering on his promise. But that's not how donation works. The thing is that whenever a college or any educational institution, there is a maximum amount of money that can be donated to any educational institution within a given time frame. Once the school has passed that amount of money in donation, no matter the commitment that Jay-Z had made to the institution, he just cannot give them any money. And as such, they have to find another way legally to pay those kids school fee. And they have to give that money in form of gifts. So it can no longer be classified as a donation. It has to come under the category of gifts. And then Rock Nation has to go back to their legal team to say, how much can we give to the school as gift? Because when it comes to gift, they have to gift to specific departments, and there are amounts that are restricted that they cannot give. Like, they have to give like gifts of, say, for example, not exceeding $3,000 to maybe 5 or 6 students. So when people were coming after Jay-Z a few months ago saying that he has faltered on the kids' school fee, and when I did my research, I realized that Jay-Z wasn't a problem. The institution, based on how the institution had licensed and positioned themselves, they had received the maximum amount of money that they could have received for a donation in a single year. And as such, Jay-Z could not give the money to the school as the student thought he could have. But I believe legally, they eventually worked out something. And when I saw it, I said, you know what? After I did my research, I said, I'm not going to do a video on this because I don't think a lot of people are going to get it. And there were far too many people always telling me that I'm in defense of Jay-Z. And I don't see how speaking the truth and providing education and awareness about something is in defense of an individual. I can't put out fake ass stories to you guys, especially when it's of pertinence. I can't do that. That's not how I flow. But other content creators who are more about the money will do that to you guys, but that's just not my way of doing things. I don't do anything for money. Okay. I just don't do anything for money. because money is not that important. My spirituality is far more important than money. Okay. So as I was saying, so this is a lot and it goes even a lot deeper, but I want to say to you guys that Marcy is going to win this case against Tony Busby. She is accusing him of launching a social media smear campaign that falsely branded her a criminal and tried to destroy her legal career. And if Marcy is saying this, it means that she has gathered enough evidence to prove such. And I can tell you from experience that this is Tony Busby's behavior, and anyone who has been following Tony Busby on social media, they know that this is his behavior. Now, the lawsuit claims Buzbee, his law firm, and an alleged collaborator orchestrated a coordinated attack that accused Croft of felonies, including illegal client solicitation, bribery, intimidation, and obstruction of justice. Allegations, she says, are flatly false and malicious. So when Marcy Croft comes out with these claims, these are not just claims. She has evidence, and she has more than enough evidence to come with this lawsuit, because as I've said to you guys, Marcy doesn't play like that. Marcy isn't the one, neither is she the two for people to be messing around with like that. Now, the complaint argues that Buzbee weaponized that visibility to amplify the damage. According to the filing, the dispute dates back to December 2024, when a former Buzbee client, Jose Maldonado, contacted Croft seeking a free evaluation of concerns regarding the Buzbee law firm's handling of client funds. I think you guys should remember Jose Maldonado, because he basically said that Buzbee, if I'm remembering correctly, allegedly was collecting client funds and not paying it over to clients, allegedly. That is how he initially positioned himself. But Croft is saying that she reviewed limited materials, declined to pursue claims, and ended contact. Shortly afterward, Maldonado allegedly aligned himself with Buzbee, setting the stage for what Croft describes as an entrapment effort. The complaint alleges Buzbee blasted Croft on Instagram and Facebook to more than 100,000 followers, accusing her of running an illegal scheme using agents to solicit lawsuits and offer former clients up to $10,000 to sue him. You guys can remember that he did make that claim, and he did blast Marcy Croft on Instagram and Facebook. If you guys can remember, I said that, he's going to be in a lot of trouble for that post. And fast forward to 2025. Man, I just love Marcy. I love Marcy. Marcy kind of reminds me of myself. Marcy doesn't drink her soup when it's hot, honey. She waits until it's cold and sour and past the due date. I love her. She's so calculated. She doesn't make any move without having her evidence. When Marcy is coming for you, just consider yourself already dead. That's how Marcy works. I love her. So Croft says those statements were repeated in letters sent on Buzbee law firm letterhead to former clients. Her lawsuit alleges the accusations were not only false, but also trying to distract from scrutiny of Buzbee's financial practices. Honey, and she has the evidence. As I've said to you all, Marcy doesn't do shit without evidence, okay? Marcy is that girl. And when Marcy says she's coming for you, it means that you're already dead. When I tell you this case is going to be open and shut, and Tony Busby will have to pay this woman the $25 million in compensatory damages plus punitive damages, he's going to have to pay it. There's no ifs, there's no buts, there's no maybes. Marcy doesn't file a case. She doesn't file a lawsuit unless she's going to win. Marcy doesn't lose. That's who Marcy is. If Marcy sees that the case is bullshit, she's going to tell you it's bullshit and she's not going to be bothered with it. Marcy doesn't put her foot where she's not going to grow. Marcy, like, she's such a spirit animal, like, ooh, love her. No, the filing references other lawsuits and court records questioning the handling of client funds and alleges Buzbee lashed out publicly as pressure mounted, which he did. If you guys remember, when it was revealed that Buzbee was not licensed to practice in the Southern District of New York, when I was telling you all that he wasn't, and you guys were like, oh, you're from Jamaica, why do you know? And I'm like, bitch, please. Anything that you guys have access to, I have even more access to it. Like, it's not even rocket science. It's common sense and simple research at this point. And then when the information was revealed, because that bitch Buzbee's over here too, like, I have zero respect for men like those. Zero respect for men who would literally do anything for money. I have no respect for men like those. Like, I don't look at them as human beings. I look at them as the devil's advocate. That's how I look at Buzbee. I look at him as the devil's advocate, and I say that without any apologies, right? So, after it was revealed that Buzbee was not barred to practice in the Southern District of New York, then Megan Cuniff came out with it. Everyone started publishing it. Tony Busby put on something on his Instagram account that gave the sense like if you were not reading, all Buzbee does is just mind games, PR. He has the behavior of a politician. Promises, and all those pretty gift wrap packages, ain't no gifts in them. That's how Buzbee operates. So when he made that post on Instagram showing that letter where it is saying that, oh, he's licensed to practice in New York, man, I was so happy when the internet clocked his ass on that. The internet was like, no, bitch. We're not slow. We're educated people. You think because pop culture has to do with a lot of black people are uneducated. If you didn't think that of us, you wouldn't be trying to trick us into believing that this, letter that you're putting on social media is for Southern District of New York. The people are like, hell no. There are many different jurisdictions there. That doesn't have anything to do with the Southern District of New York. And the internet clocked his ass. The internet has literally no respect for Buzbee because of all the mind games that they've seen this man played. And the people were following and reading into his dirty, nasty games. And when I saw the internet clocking him and the internet, they were dragging his ass, and there were a few, lint lickers over there, because that's what I call those people, lint lickers, because even if you hate someone, I don't see what the heck is your reason for hating justice. You believe that because jayz has money, jayz should give a lying ass bitch his money because she's what? Special needs? Like, fuck that. Fuck you. Go to fucking hell. Because people who comes after people money like that, and you don't know how jayz became by his money, like, you people are even far worse than jayz. You people believe that because these people are billionaires and celebrities, they should just be lied on. And when you lie on them, they should just take out the chunk of their money and give it to you. No, bitch. Life doesn't work that way. You're going to work your ass for what you want. And this is why I keep my circle small, because when you don't have a heart, when you don't have a soul, that is something that you're going to pay for. You could be doing bad things for many a days, and people may think that you have gotten away with all the horrible bad things that you've done. No one gets away. Absolutely no one gets away. You can hide from man, but you cannot hide from God. And trust and believe there is a God. So, like, I'm just smiling here. Like, Marcy girl, I feel you. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear that Tony Busby is going to have to pay this woman. This is basically a open and shut case, as I've said. So, as I was saying, so when Miss Marcy did her filing, the filing references other lawsuits and court records questioning the handling of client funds and alleges Buzbee lashed out publicly as pressured mounted, which he did, which there's evidence of. The complaint sets forth 6 causes of action, including defamation per se, so defamation and defamation per se, right? And the false light invasion of privacy. So he was basically using people to get through to Marcy, and Marcy's like, no, bitch, I'm wiser than that. I did not just come by that. And then there's also intentional and, negligent infliction of emotional distress and civil conspiracy. Yes, I remember one particular lie that he told on Marcy, and I said, but that's not true. He basically alleged that Marcy, what was his words? This is not verbatim to what Tony Busby had said, but when he said it in one of his initial court filing, I saw it and I was like, no, it wasn't Marcy who did that. It was someone from some other legal team. I'm trying to remember what it is. So basically, it is something along the lines of him allegedly assuming that Marcy had set up like people in Houston to watch him and even set up a office in Houston. It was something to that effect. And I was like, this man is crazy, because I read another lawsuit of his, or another case that he had worked on for another client, and it had the same identical allegation in it. And I was like, ain't no way all attorney operates like this. Whenever Buzbee is cornered, he play those little political mind games. He comes out of the position of an attorney and starts acting like a politician. He just lies, and he just lies consistently. Like, it is so sickening, twisted, and disgusting to see how this man lies and just lies consistently. So, Marcy is seeking $25 million in compensatory damages, as I've said, plus punitive damages, arguing the alleged campaign caused immediate reputational harm, emotional distress, and loss of professional standing. So Buzbee has not yet filed a response in court. The lawsuit stems from a previously dismissed lawsuit that fell apart in New York after Jane Doe accused jayz of abuse. Yeah, Buzbee deserves that. He told way too many lies on Marcy. That's not even the half of it, but I guess Marcy is looking at the others as being petty. So, she's just like, oh, that is too petty for me to put in a lawsuit. So let me just leave that out. But Tony Busby did lie a lot on Marcy. So yeah, guys, he made a lot of false statements regarding her reputation. He accused Marcy of setting up people pretending to be investigators. Do you guys remember when Tony Busby said that he uncovered that jayz was paying jayz and Roc Nation? He included Marcy Croft, allegedly. And he said that they were paying people like up to $10,000 to file a lawsuit against him. And I said, I could see jayz doing that, because like that is something fun for jayz to do. But jayz would not be using people who didn't have a case against Buzbee. He would intentionally use the police department in Houston to look for past reports made against Buzbee and paid those people to sue Buzbee. I can see Jay-Z doing that. But when he said that Marcy Croft, and when he suggested, allegedly, that Marcy was a part of that, I was like, this man is far too batshit crazy for me. Just far too batshit crazy for me. And then, after Jay-Z exposed him and his side chick drama, he was like, showing more photos of his wife, all of a sudden his wife was important, and all of a sudden his wife has stood by him through everything, Before that, I didn't see any posts of his wife. He may have posted her on rare occasions, but the moment the story and the drama of the side chick came up, he was posting his wife. I mean, he can post his wife any day of the week, anytime, any hour that he likes. That's his wife. But ooh, some women just love to play the role of footstools. Those women are strong. They're built differently. I don't know how they do it, but to all the women out there who plays a footstool for a man in their daily lives, I have to say, kudos to you girls, because you girls are the strongest soldiers. That's what I'm going to say. But I hope you all are emancipated from such stagnation in life. I really do hope that you women get liberated and understand the power of freedom and how beautiful it is to be a free woman. Just saying that. Just saying, honey. But anywho, this is one of the best Christmas gift ever. Marcy Croft suing Tony Busby. Oh, this is just too sweet. It's just too sweet. It feels like $1 million. It's too sweet. Kudos to you, Marcy. Can't wait. Can't wait. This is a open and shut case. No matter how the judge wanna help out Tony Busby on this one, they won't be able to. Far too many overwhelming evidence against this man. Is he even such a thing? Anywho, guys, that's all I have to say about that for this video. Peace.